Welcome to the Fitness Oracle Daily Show. I am your host, John Katsavos, and today is M&M Mondays. Today we're going to be talking about the myth and misconception behind men's mental health and how food and drink plays its role in how we feel. Now, this is a very personal thing for me. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that I have done in the past and some stuff that I do currently. To say that I'm out of, alcoholism and, eating junk food on a regular basis would be a lie to you. It's a constant battle for me. And something that I learned over the years how to manage this. And we're going to get into all of it. But first, we're going to kick off the show with talking about junk food and how junk food actually has a negative effect on your brain. But don't worry, I'm going to give you guys tricks and tips that I use to help me manage that because I still enjoy a little bit of junk food here and there. So we all know, we have all heard the stories and we've all heard the stories coming from other people. If you guys are like me and you about the studies that other people have done and how junk food is bad for you and this and that. And it is. I'm not negating how bad junk food really is for you. It's terrible. Raises blood pressure, creates brain fog. Um, it you lose your well, you lose your train of thought like I do sometimes, and go off on tangents. But there's other effects. It destroys your sex drive. It lowers your testosterone levels. And this goes for guys and girls. Higher testosterone levels for guys and girls. I mean, things start to become more active in your life. And with junk food, what this does is technically, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here, dead food. Um, if you saw the way that it was processed, you would understand. Even meats and fish. Like whenever you hear farmed fish, it's terrible. Or, um, massively farmed cows, pigs, chickens. If you see how some chickens were here in the U.S. And in Canada, North America, and I'm sure some places in Europe, you'd be disgusted. You'd be absolutely mortified. So in one way, I don't blame vegans for being vegans, but in another way, we still need our proteins. Um, we still need that form of protein, that form of amino acid, still necessary for us for development. Um, every time that I eat junk food, I'll tell you personally how I feel. It feels good for about 3 seconds because you're eating all this artificial flavor, you're eating this um, artificial meat. It kind of tastes. The meat doesn't have any taste to it, but the sauces and the sauces that they use with the artificial flavoring makes it tasty. And it does make you feel good for about 3 seconds while you're eating it. What it does after, it makes you feel down, makes you feel disgusting, makes you feel lethargic, it makes you feel, oh, why did I do that to myself? This is horrible. And it's more on the lines of comfort food. It makes you feel comfortable at the moment. There's nothing like a good cheeseburger at a fast food joint. There's a couple of them here. They're so greasy. It's disgusting. Like it's horrifying how greasy these cheeseburgers are. And it's like, wow, dude, like anyways, and it just makes you feel heavy because of the amount of grease that they use. So is it a good idea to eat junk food? I'm gonna say yes, it is a good idea to eat junk food. And no, it's not a good idea to eat junk food because if I say yes, everybody's gonna go out there and just start buying cheeseburgers from Checkers or Burger King or Wendy's or McDonald's. They're gonna go every single day and buy cheeseburgers. Oh, John, the personal trainer said it's good. That's why I want to say no, it's not a good idea to eat junk food. When I want to when I'm meaning yes, it is a good idea to eat junk food. It's more on the lines of allowing yourself to feel good in the moment. But you don't want to do that on a regular basis. I need to be clear on that. Because junk food has a lot of artificial flavoring, artificial meats, artificial this, artificial that. It has a negative effect on our, let's go a little bit woo here, on our soul, on our spirit, on our energy levels. It drains it because this is because this is all artificial. So we want to do, and we'll get into it a little bit later into the show, is try to figure out a little bit of a schedule of, when am I okay to, go to Wendy's and buy a cheeseburger, or when to go to McDonald's and get a, Big Mac, because it's okay to do it, just not as often as we would want to do it. And too much junk food will end up you gaining weight, you having a negative perception of yourself in the mirror, uh, negative talk will start to come in, and depression will sit in. And we don't want that. We want us to feel good for a little bit and then move on to bigger, greener pastures. Um, and I've experienced this when I was working as a security guard in Toronto at a condo. I was working nights. We'll go into that a little bit later on in the week. And one night I'm like, you know what? I haven't had McDonald's in 3 or 4 months. Went up to the drive-through before work, grabbed a cup of filet of fish, downed them, and then I went to work. It felt good. I'm like, yeah, okay, if it feels good, but that night was terrible. That shift was horrible. I was like, what did I do to myself? That's disgusting. I feel nasty. And even though I was feeling nasty, I mean, it just amplified the nastiness that I was feeling to myself. And I quit it. I quit the junk food for about 6 months, and I've started to feel better, well, a little bit better, and yeah. So a little bit later on in the show, a little bit later, we're gonna go into how do you manage this to allow junk food in your life, but not too much where it's gonna take over and you're gonna feel crappy. Next, I want to talk about a major thing that us guys actually really have to be careful with, and we deal a lot with this. I'm sure women also deal with this as well, but not to the level that where men deal with. And what I'm about to say is true for both men and women. The effects of alcohol. And just like junk food, it makes us feel good. It makes us, we think it's going to take our problems away. We think it's going to solve the world's problems, even for a minute, even for an hour. We think it makes us, it lightens our tongue and we can talk to people easier. We think all these things. The opposite is actually true, because alcohol has such high sugar content in it. It will make us feel good for a split second. And once that split second is gone, the alcohol is already in our bloodstreams, hitting our brain. We get drunk. I'm not saying like after one drink or two drinks, maybe after one drink, depending on how hard it is. I have gotten buzzed off of half a drink because it was like half the cup was filled with vodka and the rest was soda. Yeah, that was a fun. And I was at a networking event. That was even better. I'm like, yeah, no. I took three sips. I put it down. I left it. Yeah. Can you imagine me being drunk at a networking event trying to get people? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So I want to touch up on these points. One, we think it's gonna make the world's problems go away. The world's problems are gonna still be there when we sober up. Even though you think you're going to escape your problems, um, even for an hour, it doesn't make it. It doesn't make. It doesn't give you. It doesn't give you an excuse to hide from your problems. You have to face them head on. You have to come up with a solution. Later on in the month, we're going to be talking about stepping into your darkness. And that's going to be a really interesting one. And it's important to do that. We're not supposed to shy away from it. We should never shy away from it. Number two, we think it lightens our tongue and we can talk better. It loosens your tongue to the point where people realize that you're drunk and they don't want to deal with you because they don't know how you're going to act or how to react. And believe me, if you're an angry drunk like I am, nobody wants to deal with you. Not even you want to deal with you. This is why I don't get drunk or I don't like getting drunk because I become angry. I know me. And for me not to get angry, I just don't drink. I just don't. I don't drink to the point where I get drunk or buzzed. That's my rule. I'll have one drink and I'll nurse it for the whole night. That's my maximum one drink because the drink you make it makes you feel a little bit more social, right? It makes you feel social. You can be social without a drink, but it makes you feel social, right? You want to celebrate one. You want to celebrate uh, an event. You want to celebrate a milestone. You have one, maybe two. I have max. I said one. The truth is, I'll max out at two, and I won't have any more after that, depending on how the one makes me feel. If I'm okay with a one, I'll have a second one, and I'll nurse that one for the rest of the night. The problem with drowning your sorrows, drowning your problems with alcohol is one. Well, there's multiple things that are wrong with it. One, the people that are sober, they're going to look at you, they'll be like, I don't want to deal with this guy or girl. I don't want to deal with them. Let them go over there and just beat them by themselves. The other one is the next day. There's more. There's a lot of health issues that go on with getting, plastered every night. But I'm talking about mental. And just because you think that your problems went away for an hour or two doesn't, like I said in the beginning of this segment, doesn't mean that they've gone away. No, what ends up happening? I don't care how drunk people get, you remember everything. Don't care how drunk you get. You will remember everything that you did, everything that you said, how you acted, how you reacted the night before, that night that you got drunk, or that day you got drunk. And those memories will last for a very long time inside your head. And they may haunt you, which will lead you to more drinking. Because it's happened to me. I'm still living it. No matter how much I want to hide away from what I did and what I said and how I acted to people when I was drunk beyond drunk, I still remember everything. I tell people I don't want to remember, but I do remember. and that has a negative effect on me. But there's help that you can get through AA, through psychology, through all this. There are some other simple steps that can help you get off of the drink that I've used, but you still have to deal with the mental memory of how you acted, what you said, how you treated people when you were under the influence. And and sometimes that's a lot harder than just stopping alcohol. So the way that I deal with all this stuff is quite interesting because I don't completely eliminate it from my life. I allow it to be in my life, just not at that level. Like fast food, for example, I'll go to a fast food place and I'll buy a cheeseburger once a month, maybe twice a month. I'll go out to a bar and just I'll have a drink and a burger once a week. I allow myself that social aspect to interact with other people. One, that's why I do it. It's to allow me to interact with other people. And two, just it I don't want to get rid of it from my life. I enjoy a good burger. I love pizza. I love going to a bar and just chilling out for a couple of hours. Mm, surprisingly, I like to mingle. When I go to a networking event, I'll go and I'll eat the food. I'll go and have a drink. A drink, unless they freaking fill it up with vodka, like, and make you freaking out of your mind when you're starving. That's not a good idea. So that's what I do now, but it wasn't always like that. What I did was I started to wean myself off of the junk food, started to wean myself off of the drink. Well, the drink, I just went cold turkey. Not a good idea. I mean, if you have a problem, my suggestion is to go seek professional help through AA meetings, through stuff like that. See a psychologist. Maybe there's something going on in your life that you don't know how to deal with and don't know how to get over. They can help. Um, but if it's just drinking for the sake of drinking, or stuffing your face with cheeseburgers from McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or whatever, that stuff is, just wean yourself out of it, max yourself out. That's what I did. Okay, I was eating fillet of fish for every single day, two fillet of fish. Every single day that I was working, I would have a fillet, two fillets. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it I'll do it every other day. Then it ended up, I'll do it once a week. Then it ended up doing it once every 2 weeks. Then it ended up doing once a month. Then I would skip a month. I haven't been to McDonald's in 2 years. Do I miss it? No, that's a lie. I had McDonald's when I first moved here to Florida. Almost 6 months. I haven't gone to McDonald's in 6 months. Almost 6 months. Do I miss it? No. Could I go for another? Yeah, I could. Do I want to? No, I don't. I'd rather go to IHOP and have a good breakfast. That's how I got able to, that's how I've been able to shift from eating junk food and the drink. I just stopped. I'm like, I can't be like this anymore. The next days, as you get older, the morning after is hell. Hell. It's horrible. So I just don't do it. I'll have maybe one drink in the night. That's it. Just to, it helps calm me down. One drink helps me calm down. I'm okay. I'll go to bed. I wake up okay. And that's it. So if you want more of this kind of stuff, we're going to get into a little bit more on how to communicate with me and how we can help you. Coming up tomorrow we have a very great episode with Kevin Palmieri from Next Level University, where we talk about how he found success, but after a brush of with suicide, he realized he wasn't living a life he truly wanted. He became passionate about self improvement and decided to make his purpose in life to impact as many people as possible by becoming a role model podcaster and speaker. It's gonna be a good show. Tomorrow's gonna be a good show. So tune in for tomorrow. And as usual, grab a pen and paper. This one's packed with useful tidbits. And I just want to thank you again for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please don't please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and share if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, iHeartRadio, or whatever streaming service you use, please give us a 5-star rating and a positive review, as it will help us reach out to more people that are suffering from mental health issues. But before you go, I'd like to invite you to keep the conversation going by signing up to your free account at PodInBox. Over the years, we've discovered that in order for us to achieve the greatness that we are destined for, we can't do it alone. In order for us to find our place back in this world, we've come across this amazing tool called PodInBox, where we can get together and discuss this topic even further. All you have to do is click on the link in the show notes and sign up for your free account and find out for yourself how powerful community really is.